Hello, everyone, and welcome to Minecraft Musings. And I don't know, maybe I should stop saying that whole thing too, as we start getting into I don't know, some pretty structured season setups. I don't know, I like it. It's like we've got quite a few episodes going, but I did record something a little while ago, but I was a little too excited, speaking all too fast, and I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm really excited that these episodes are easier to watch and I don't know, even as I'm editing them, so I can only imagine people seeing them. So it makes sense, especially when I don't really have any specific goals in mind for these videos, as far as the gameplay goes. Like the gameplay is awesome. I mean, that's always like a nice distraction. And it also kind of allows you to clean your palate when you're thinking about things. I mean, you do it with food tasting and stuff. Like it makes sense to, okay, you know, or do an etch a sketch of your mind and then just be, all right, cool. But anyways, in I did have some points that I wanted to talk about, like in the first one. But most importantly, sorry, now I'm trying to think about the order of all of them. No, basically, all right. So different people and different perspectives because of different universes or different upbringings or different environments. Like all of that to say that we just all experience life differently, and trying to communicate that in a non-cheesy and sappy way to also relate the idea of problem solving with this in mind and just connecting all of those dots. And it's really not that much to like and we all hear it. Like I feel like people have been trying to do it since the dawn of time. Like make it catchy in a music song, and then more people will listen to it and follow it. Or make a really good movie and about like pay it forward, and then next thing you know, everybody will be buying each other McDonald's in the drive-through and stuff like that. And it's like, it was great ideas at heart, like good intentions, like that saying says. The pathway to hell is paved in good intentions. And that is one thing about that one that I deleted. Because yeah, I just had to straight up delete it. I was talking way too fast, way too erratically. I'm still kind of all over the place. I'm also like now I'm into like house cleaning mode, getting the laundry going and did the shopping. Got the fridge stocked and everything. So it's like this constant adulting things and the things that you learn in college when you go off on your own, or not. I mean, if you stay where you are, or even go somewhere for a job and just start right into the working world, then you learn pretty quick at that point. So, which I did. I took a gap year in a trailer park actually, because I wanted my independence. I moved out of the Ma's house to live in a trailer park, and it was a retirement type trailer park, mind you. It was a bunch of nice old people, and it wasn't ghetto or like gangster at all. I mean, granted, I feel like I was like the most gangster thing about it, and I wasn't even like a little white boy. Like, anyways, basically think about like 21 Jump Street, because they nailed it with how they had like the entire generation try to pretend to be like Eminem. And mind you, not the Stan stuff, like the psycho stuff, but just being, hard, like an influencer from Detroit, like all cool, like you're so cool that even other cultures accept you as like somewhat decent. I mean, like let's not get ahead of ourselves. The whole race war has always been kind of like touchy around the rap scene. It's like, and that's what it is. And like, I was listening to some old songs. Like, I've been loving this '90s station. But anyways, it was like Dre and Snoop and Eminem, and they're talking about how Eminem's fans and this and that, and then Dre's fans, and there's a lot of hype about that because it was like, I don't know, it was integrating cultures and universes at a level that was not previously seen. Like that was an exclusive, and it's true. If you watch '80s movies, like the old, especially the more racist seeming ones, there were very clearly defined lines between cultures and like people that you hung out with, or people that you identified to be, or whatever. Any of the different lenses or perspectives, they didn't exist, or if they did, they were very isolated. Sorry, not that they didn't exist. No, it was very definitely like, but they're just more divided. And again, lack of communication, and it all kind of keeps going back to that, like how well we reduce friction between each other and ourselves, how well we communicate with each other and ourselves, and then do like follow through too, because there's the communication and then there's the effort. I mean, it is twofold. But that's the thing, like you can say pay it forward all day, but then you actually got to do it. Well, and most people don't feel financially stable to start paying for people's stuff at McDonald's, because that's a lot of faith. Like that's a bad example, and it's unfortunate. That's the first thing I think of. but really doing any kind of charitable work. And that even, like, if you want to go back to the religious sense, and again, no, I'll point out Christian things because that's the only thing I actually have a more experience with. And like, again, I stopped in high school, so that's where my learning stopped. But basically, um, they say, what is it, 10%? And I did just look this up because I was trying to make a point on the Twitters, but it's like 10% is supposed to go back to the land, and then there's like the quote and verse and everything or whatever. But the 10% tithe, and people point that out, and I've even, in the heat of passion in a debate, back in the day, I used to say stupid things like, oh, well, tax the churches. Well, it's like, yeah, but I'm more just like tax the super wealthy people like Joel Osteen with like a mega mansion. Like nobody should have a mega mansion on helping people. Like you're not the greatest leader to do that. Like maybe just a really nice house. But if you can fit an entire town in it, well, there's entire towns. I don't know. You're not succeeding, is my opinion. But anyways, so that's what we should all like take that upon ourselves. Especially if we're not religious, just to understand that volunteering and giving back to the community is. And I know it's not just a Christian thing. I did see. I was hearing this thing. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta be kind of. It was a work thing, so I can't really give out too much information about it. But I mean, I did hear or learn about a Jewish culture or a Jewish idea about, and it's like I don't know what it's called. So if these do get big, comment in the comments, whatever. But no, it's like the Tarat Kara or something. But it's basically the world perspective or the cosmic perspective. It's the unified way of thinking as the global peace between people, and that we are all interconnected. And so, and that's like got to be super ancient and predating Christianity. A lot of these ideals. I don't know when this. It'd be interesting to see because I can't say for sure. Well, I did just hear a wandering trader. Let's make sure they're not. See, I'm getting lazy. I'm not checking now. Yeah. Well, actually, so you came there. Do I have any leads? Yes. A couple. All right, let's take the llama out and then we'll find the. Although I don't know where to take it. It was down. There you are. Okay. I don't even know where my nearest. Let's see. Well, I don't have wood. I can. Actually, yeah, my nearest fence is over here. Sorry. Oh, and then let's just go ahead and grab both of them. Then we'll deal with him. But we're all going to the same place. Anyways, sorry. All that to say, with my whole like mumblings there, is just about every major religion. Because I'm pretty sure, and see, I'd want to look this up too, but Islam means peace. And so, and I know for the little what I understand of Islam, like, it is a very peaceful and, like, world-oriented religion. So it's not like we're all saying different things. And again, I apologize for leaving out a bunch of other cultures, basically, like, so much of the world, but I'm just going to be addressing, what little perspective I have into, and then you can expand these ideas to be applicable to other cultures. And actually, as I say that, I saw this. So let's put those together. Oh yeah, right. See, he's even reminding me. Let's go ahead and heal up our axe. But yeah, that global perspective is crucial for. Oh no, where did he go? He's like, I saw you just steal my llamas, and now I'm just gonna wander around and bug you. Touche. There. Okay. All right. I mean, it's funny, and when I do watch these things later, I see like the stuff that I'm missing, and I just like want to point it out, like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's got the cigarette and the beer. Okay, and yeah, and let's circle back to why I was so excited about my opinion of Tucker Carlson. And mind you, I do have a lot of Republican friends, and I do respect them as people, and so part of why I take the extra time and patience, you know, dealing with any issues, any political issues. Like, I mean, I try not to get heated either way because, and there's no good way to say it because it's like, oh wait, I actually need to. That's okay. We'll head there soon. As for this stuff, but anyways, it's just I would like to get to a point where it's not unpleasant to talk. I mean, I'm not excited about politics and all that, mind you. Like, I would like to get to a point where it just runs itself. Like, we don't have to keep having these earth-shattering, like, changes and everything. I don't know. Like, I mean, and we do need to fix a few more things. Ah, okay, well, there we go. Now we've been paid back our. So, but it needs to be done in a manner that we can all be, because when you think about even like the most vile person or whatever in like all the stories, there was a way that, or a reason that they became that way. Oh, and actually, I did a couple worse things in the other video, like part of why I had to redo it, but let's see, 706, about 20, so 725. Oh yeah, no, it already, it's okay, never mind. I did set an alarm, I got my water, like both things I forgot to do during the first tape, or first musing attempt. Yeah, the first take. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know. But menthols and marijuana, that was like the big take, why I generally distrust Tucker Carlson now. I mean, before it was like certain things and this and that, but this specifically was like something I saw on Twitter, and I watched a little video clip of him trying to justify keeping marijuana illegal, yet menthols are okay because we've studied menthols and we know all about them. It's like, well, we know that they kill people. In fact, they've killed people in my family. I mean, it's not foreign to me. It's a very present danger, and so, and now we've got it. I don't know. I want to say a lot less dangerous, but I know popcorn lung is still a thing with vapes, and vapes are just as addicting, I've heard. So, I mean, I was fortunate not to be at an age where I would think that was cool. I smoked cigarettes and I had to deal with that, so that I didn't go unscathed. But I feel like vapes would be harder to quit because you'd feel like they're more healthy, and then you get hit with something like popcorn lung, and then at the end of the day, did it really matter that the percentage chance that you were gonna get sick was slightly better, but you're still gonna die? Like, and that's the thing. And we need to reduce the stressors and the friction in life that would make it necessary to use tobacco all the time and stuff like that. And, take a look anywhere, there's always, well, not always, I say. I feel like we're getting better as a society, a global society anyway, that we're becoming more kind to each other. I mean, if nothing else, like, we are more accountable now that it's easier to communicate instantly with people around the world, which I still don't get. Like, I mean, if you really wanted to completely dissuade the flat Earth theory, you could have like a person from every continent, and then drill down to like every time zone even, and then have them record at the same time, be in the same Zoom room, and then you are able to see the sun's passage. Like, and I'm surprised nobody's done that yet. Like, just have someone from every time zone. There's not that many. There's like what, 24 hours in a day, and no, there's not just 24 zones. I just traveled around the world and I found that out the hard way. I was like, what? It's not like that nice, pleasant orange shape. No, it's horrible. It's so messed up. Like time changes. My gosh. And a lot of countries they do. That's why they do in relation to Greenwich Mean Time. I think it is. It's just like, just stop. Like, you go from one country to another, and it's like, oh, but now you're in north this country, and south this country is even a different time zone. Like, so I don't know. It's like hyper focused daylight savings time. And actually, I'm gonna drop off some of these before I start going at those pumpkins. But anyway, sorry. I don't know if I finished that thought. I actually got my water, set my alarm. This video was doing a lot better until I had forgotten that. And I leave those pumpkins in the melons as a reminder that we're all capable of facepalm moments, and we need to go easier on each other because of that fact. Because nobody likes to be made a fool after the fact, and especially with increased communication, it's much easier to be held accountable for being slow on the uptake or lazy with your empathy, or and for whatever reason too. I'm not judging and trying to say like, oh, it's some fault of yours. It's just you haven't been able to dedicate the time and effort towards that. So again, let's reduce the friction on as many other things as we can, like education, social interactions. Like, I'm gonna do some. Well, I'm trying to figure out how the best way to do it. Like, I even still want to do exercise videos because I grew up doing sports and like basically growing up in a gym, and I learned a lot of proper ways to lift weights. And actually, I have a buddy who does it a lot better down in Denver, and I'm encouraging him to do it Twitch. Which it's hard because I don't do a lot of Twitch now. And like now that I'm back to work, it's like when I was doing that, I didn't have a job. I was in between. I had just graduated from a class. I was like working for the first part of that class, and I decided to, quit this like little warehouse job, finally go back on unemployment, enjoy it for a little bit, because I'm gonna be working forever, and like, you know. Anyways, I digress. That was just taking me back to another episode where I was upset at people that were taking advantage of unemployment while I was working as an essential worker, building wind turbine blades for 12 hours at a time, doing graveyard shifts, like back-breaking work, operating a crane, being on the safety team, like building these big old things, like lifting heavy things, like, yeah, you had to be in good shape to do all that, like, or succeed at least, or excel, I guess I should say, because like anybody can reach like this, the bare minimum. But they did kind of hire people on like, not only will you be lifting 50 pounds, you'll be lifting 50 pounds multiple times. Like, anyways. And again, different perspectives. So people that never have a job like that might not see it that way. And so people that, let's say, could afford to take some time off, maybe they don't understand. And then the people that because there was a lot of people that did take unemployment and they were either like not used to it or because really nobody can afford to just take, a whole chunk of time off. That's the way our society is structured. It's like, you got to keep them. Otherwise, they'll just, stop. I don't know. And we are talking about going down to like 4-day work weeks and trying to make it more common around, but I don't know. I feel like we would have to make some serious reductions in friction. So again, if we made everything cheaper by making education free, and then not just free or nonprofit, and then same with healthcare and law. Like those three areas, if we just force that to be nonprofit, and we got to fix the whole shareholder mess. Like, I mean, like having this obligation to faceless people, and then basically like trying to win the lottery. Like again, I don't know. I just the stock market's always bothered me because it feels like a lottery that's like or that's rigged. Yeah. Because basically with your connections or like access to certain data reports, trends, stuff like that, you can have an unfair advantage playing the stock market. And it basically is like playing like gambling. It's like or how fast or how good is your tech and like how good is your connection like technically and socially like to the information, but um yeah, because I've even heard just rumors about how there's a delay. Like if you're on the floor at like Wall Street, you get the instant trades, and then there's like a 10-second delay everywhere else, or something like that, or I don't know. And I wouldn't doubt it. But then it's like, okay, so if you're going to do this, you have to invest your time to go down to New York and all that. Like I don't know. It's just stuff that and see that's a different universe, different perspective because that is a way to make money there in that part of the country. And then you got places in the country that don't even have like movie theaters. I still don't think Buena Vista has a movie theater. They have a drive-in, but that's only open for like 3 or 4 months in the summer because it gets super cold very quickly up there. So oh, and that's another real kick in the face. Like, our economy back home revolved around snowboarding and skiing in the winter, and river rafting, and enjoying our drive-in movie theater in the summer. And it's like all the locals would go out to try to watch it, and you get all these like drunk party people from all around, just acting a fool and like, uh, yeah, good times, good times. No, I don't know. It's changing. Like really just like having everybody being able to connect to the internet and have tech to where they can actually enjoy and learn. Um, I think is going to greatly reduce a lot of that friction, and that's at least going to help education to be more nonprofit. Um, more education to be nonprofit because eventually it should be. I understand it's not going to happen overnight. Like we can't just like think about moving fish from one aquarium to another. You could cause them to go into shock if like not everything is perfect. That's why I can never have fish. Like that's just so much like I don't even want to have a cat or a dog to be honest because I'm still trying to figure out how to take care of myself, let alone like another. Oh, and I got kids by the way too, so it's like then a dog, and then I gotta go like when they want to go to the bathroom, I gotta go do something. They're like completely dependent on you. And then with a cat, you still gotta clean the litter box and like and breathe up that litter dirt and then smell the cat pee and like they're cute, they're awesome. But having them, nah, it's like, nah. I grew up with cats, can you tell? Anyways, and these are the things that some people don't take into consideration, and that actually causes a lot of problems, and that's pretty serious matters. Like, um, like how they say puppy mills are a bad thing, not just because they're mass producing dogs and cats for sale, they're also flooding a market that doesn't really need to be that flooded. Like, because if you realize too late that you can't take care of an animal and you didn't get it from a shelter, you're actually introducing more animals into the system of an already stressed system. So, definitely adopt shelter pets if you're going to adopt a pet and think long and hard and have a good discussion and maybe check your financials too. Because yeah, that's another thing. Like, you got to think of your opportunity cost, both in like how much it's going to cost to feed it and take care of it, and leashes and all that. If I had leashes for my cats, like again, that phew, that gorgeous Jewish woman. Sorry, we walked cats, or we tried to. We took them to the park, and it was ridiculous. They like climbed the tree and like hissed, and they hated it, and they like like laid on the ground. Anyways, it was just all bad. And wait, actually, oh yeah, see that's the danger of having this the opacity set to a different level of my tools, which is awesome because there, see, it just fades away. I never knew you could do that up until I was today years old when I found that out. So, anyways, like I try to drill home, just like every one of these things, it's perspective. Perception is reality. My dad used to say that, and that's like, and again, I grew up hearing that, and it makes so much sense when you see just a few different perspectives, and you're just like, okay. That's why it's good to watch things like Rick and Morty, sci-fi in general, like Star Trek. Even if you think it's all nerdy, just try it out. And this is coming from someone who used to like smash into people for fun in football and be like, the jockey type. I was nerdy AF, man. Still am. I don't know. I didn't do the student council. I did it in middle school. Because I was just trying to figure out what all I needed to do, like to be a good person and like make money and provide for a family and make a family, like all these things you got to take into consideration. It's like, all right, and this is how you do it. And so you get public school for most of us, and then and how do you make do with what you get in public school? And what happens if there's problems? What happens if you get held back, or what happens if like you drop out early? I mean, like I don't think kids should be able to drop out. I think they should be able to transfer. Like they should be able to transfer schools, but what about places that only have the one school? See, like already you're introducing new sets of problems because of a different environment. And so these are in that's why like politics is so messed up. It's because we're trying to govern on a federal level, which like, yeah, I think it should be a lot less federal stuff and a lot more state stuff. And I say that, and even like the abortion thing, I'm still in support of like that being a federal thing. I don't know. I feel like that's like a health risk thing. I mean, but I respect the religious side of it too. So I'm like, all right, well, let's meet in the middle and let's just provide free contraceptives to everyone. And then education. Let's teach young people, like, at the time of adolescence, like, sorry, not like when they're hitting puberty. No, sorry, not when. No, no, no. Oh, wait. I take that back because I was watching those videos in fifth grade. No, when you learn in health class, that was like middle school. And most people don't start fooling around until high school. And even then, like, there's people that make it all the way to college. Like, yeah, sorry, I say that, but, I worked when I was, all through high school, and I actually worked with this chick that had a kid. So it's like, I don't know, I definitely did not wait till high school. Wait, no, because I was driving then. Yeah, so that was in high school, barely then. So anyways, I digress. The important thing is like, no matter how much you want something to happen, like kids will find a way. I don't know. It's just, I'm not saying it's a good thing, and I'm worried, as a parent myself, like that is the last thing I want to deal with. But, I'm not gonna be played dumb and think that I don't know what's gonna happen. So I don't know. It's just too much to think about right there. But anyways, if we're going back to perspectives, so world problems, I mean, and we're getting a lot of that in everything too. Like I just watched the new Spider-Man, and no spoilers, it introduces a lot of perspective. It's called like what? Back to the or in I don't know. It's something about the Spider-Verse. But anyways, yeah, and okay, so let's talk about the other one that's been out for a while, where we first see Miles Morales, right? I'm pretty sure I could talk about that. Be all right. So, anyways, super awesome, and you get to see like four or five like main different versions of Spider-Man, including a Spider Pig, which is like a Looney Tunes like character. Um, yeah, no, actually, now I want to go work on the llama coaster a little bit. But anyways, my point is like you get introduced to thinking about other cultures and perspectives just by watching a Spider-Man movie, and that's an easy, anybody has access to that. Like, doesn't matter your, whatever. Oh wait, whoops, that I don't want it there. Um, so it's introducing this perspective to a lot of people, and same with the music industry. Like, the music that sells is the more provocative, like thought-inspiring or relatable. Not always, but I mean, there's exceptions to the rule. But look at like Taylor Swift. She's super popular, super famous, um, singing about like her perspective, her life, her world, her experiences, and trying to make it relatable to like I don't know. I don't feel like I've had my heart broken like a gentle lass that many times, but I know a lot of people. Just kidding. Same with Backstreet Boys. Oh my God, I hated those. Like, I'm not a fan of pop. I apologize. Like, my daughter is a huge Taylor Swift fan, so it's like, ah. So this is gonna be awkward if I ever meet her. I mean, it's not that I don't like her music. It's fine, but it's not something I would pick. And actually, I take that back. It is a little bit I associated with some negative memories, but that's not nothing against old T Swift. Anyways. Same with what was that? 311. No, 211 is the prison gang, and then 311. No, llama, no. But no, 311 is the band, and I was talking to one of my coworkers outside of Blackjack. I used to deliver pizzas, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna go see the new 311 concert?" And I was like, "Oh no, I might," And then I remembered, what was it? It was a Wu Tang, or no, it was a Cottonmouth Kings show, and I'd only been to one, and I used to really like them for like a year. I got really into them, and and just their music and all that, and then it's just like, uh, the sound was horrible. And it was a 311 show. The Cottonmouth Kings were opening for them, and they sounded terrible. And then 311 comes out sounding all awesome. So right there, I was all upset. I was like, screw these guys. And they got great music. Don't get me wrong. They got wonderful music. But just that situation just put a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, oh, well, I see how it is. Like, you give them the trash equipment, you don't share. Like, and I know that's a thing because equipment's so expensive. But what if it wasn't? What if we set up these, music venues with the proper equipment? Everybody just paid a tax and they had the best stuff. Like, and then they save money on. And see, right there, you would have to get everybody to be in accord. Like, let's all talk about. Sorry, now I'm trying to think about what I even want to do with this, because so that's how we can feed in more llamas. I'm gonna leave that up for now. I mean, if my buddy does play, he'll find out pretty quick that I don't think he's been on for a while. But anyways, um, let's see. Other reasons like, wow. See, and I also just want to get some good footage of this because like, it is pretty awesome. I mean, it's better at night, and so I almost want to come back here and do one of these during the night. But yeah, it's like do a kickflip. And it actually does change directions. So then it'll get going. And then there it is. This is the big one. Big air. Yeah. And it just goes on endlessly. This llama has been on this ride for like 10 days. Alright, so that's going to be a short. And yep, we're about at time. Oh, I thought the alarm was about to go off, so that's okay. I said most of what I wanted to say, like just different situations and perspectives. Oh, and the devil, but okay, we got like 1 minute to talk about that. Basically, what I was saying with that was, there's the alarm. So, one of my biggest problems with religion is the idea of the devil, and this is in Islam, this is in Christianity, and I'm pretty sure it's in Judaism. And Hindu, there's definitely like Kali Ma and stuff from like Indiana Jones is high, the Temple of Doom. So I know that. I'd have to look deeper into knowing what they actually mean. So that's what I'm saying is I have limited understanding. And we'll go a little over, that's fine. But basically the idea of the devil was it sets a false pretense. Like it would have been better to just communicate the idea that we're all capable of evil and we don't quite understand why. And now we kind of do understand why through our psychology and our therapy and like just understanding and studying people so much. Like you think about artificial intelligence and machine learning is just the culmination of a bunch of test cases run through a machine, teaching that machine. The same can be said for people. Like we're learning about psychology and therapy and sociology and anthropology and all these things, all these classes that I dabbled with in school, which I'm not an expert in any of them, but okay, geology, I did get the highest grade, but again, a freshman level like geology class at a community college, like, and it was me and this Grateful Dead hippie from. Anyway, sorry, I could go on for that, but my point is religion. Some of my biggest concerns about it doesn't mean that it's all bad and it needs to all be discounted. Of course not. But what I'm saying is the idea of the devil falsely sets people up to solve problems that might not be there, probably aren't there, and now we're starting to understand really aren't there. I mean, you can watch all of these like what possession and like Conjuring and all these scary movies, but actual video evidence and stuff is scarce and can be doctored now. So it's almost like, although even then it could have been doctored back then, like all these videos that we do have, it's, and we even know that like with certain psych medications, you could even like force somebody into like or yeah, you can induce psychosis through substances we found like in the wild. Like there's a, although this could be fiction, I'd have to look this up to know for sure. But I know that like there's at least a lot of stories about it, and I know that psychotropic medications, if abused, can induce psychosis. So right then, you can at least see like or feel or like infer incorrectly and not have a good kind of decision maker on your observations or your whatever you want to like your anyways, really stretching it out, but that's what I was part of what I was all excited about talking earlier, because it's like once you start to understand that, then it's easier to be kinder with others, because then you're not trying to protect against a devil that's not there. And even if the devil does turn out to exist, like it's I'm really not seeing it. Not on the down, like, I mean, people do a lot of bad things because they have bad situations or bad luck or, bad family history or any set of bad factors that just kind of make it a little harder to do. And it's not all like one side or the other. We're all a sliding scale of good and bad. I mean, it's not, and that's the other thing too. I was relating the devil to like any Bond villain. Like, there aren't Bond villains out there, having their cats on their laps or whatever. Just like I mean, that's at least my take on it. Like everybody, even the richest of the rich, is like, oh yeah, I was talking about that with Bezos and stuff. And it's like they're out there, doing whatever, like, and they're probably still getting that perspective of their work. Anyways, now we're going way over. All right, yeah, we're like almost 3 minutes over. So sorry, that's just, yeah, llama, judge me. All right, we will see you next time. All right, bye everyone.